Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are checking out a drop-in AR-15 trigger from Velocity Triggers. Tom, the owner of Velocity, worked at Timney for 10 plus years and was in the trigger industry for like 10 before that. The guy knows what he's doing. He's got a wire EDM machine apparently, and he's making his own triggers now. They look nice and they feel nice. Let's go in close to check out the trigger pull. Okay, as I put my finger on it, there is no slack, no take up. If I pull it really, really slowly, I can tell there's just a minute amount of creep, just the tiniest, teeniest little amount. The break is crisp and there's basically no over travel. Now that we've reset the hammer, we'll let out the trigger slowly. And there's the reset. It doesn't move from there. Nice. It's a pretty freaking nice, crisp trigger. All that was Silver Bear 223, which has pretty hard primers similar to NATO spec primers, and I have shot some NATO spec 5.56 through this trigger as well. It's been 100% across the board, zero issues. All the primer strikes look totally normal. They're nice and solid, despite the nice light weight of this trigger coming in around 3.5 pounds. All right, that's going to wrap it on the Velocity trigger, drop-in trigger for the AR-15. You know, it is pretty freaking good. It is a very fundamentally good trigger. No take up, no slack, the tiniest little bit of creep, and only if you're pulling the trigger very, very slowly. A clean break, very little over travel, and a nice reset. It's audible, it's tactile, it's not the strongest I felt, but it is there, it's pretty darn good. And it has been completely and totally reliable with some very hard primers. It cycled everything, no problems whatsoever, felt great. Certainly thanks to the pretty short travel distance between pulling it fully and then resetting, it is a very fast trigger to shoot. The trigger blade itself looks pretty nice, the curved one here, this trigger shoe. I'm not the biggest fan of Velocity's straight trigger shoe, but I'm sure a lot of people are. It's definitely a very clean look. Now, getting down to brass tacks, I would say that I like the Elf trigger better. I like their match or 3-gun trigger a little bit better than this Velocity trigger. However, that Elfman trigger comes in at about 280 bucks. This Velocity MSRP is 150. I've actually seen them online selling for as low as $99.95, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's a hell of a screaming deal for a drop-in trigger. It's NP3 coated, it is wire EDM cut from American tool steel. I think it's as good of a quality trigger as you can find anywhere. It does have the 2 set screws inside of it to take up the tension in the receiver. I have zero complaints about it whatsoever. Functionally, it's awesome. The quality is, I think, as good as it gets in materials and workmanship, and all of that for 150 bucks MSRP or less at retail. So maybe it's not quite on the level of that Elf trigger in how just clean and crisp and precise it is, how fundamentally flawless that Elf was, but it is darn close. It's a very close runner-up there. It's given it a good run for its money. I mean, a really good run for its money because it's half the price of that Elf. So, you know, you don't have an unlimited budget. 280 bucks seems like a ridiculous amount to you for a drop-in AR trigger. Check out Velocity Triggers. Link to them is in the video description below. Also, there's a link to TTAG, thetruthaboutguns.com, where you will find photos and further information about this trigger. There are more AR-15 drop-in trigger reviews coming, and I'm actually going to be getting borrowing a really cool scientific machine that measures all of the fundamental features of a trigger so that I can objectively, scientifically compare the 8 to 10 AR drop-in triggers that I'm going to have against each other. That information, that article will be up on TTAG eventually. As always, thank you very much for joining me in the woods. Please like and subscribe if you would. I hope to see you guys next time.